Hello freedom seekers, Jeremy Chambers, Independence Acres Homestead. Out here on a weekday, doing some things I really didn't want to do. But we had just a little bit of crazy weather come through the last couple days, and now I've got some cleanup to do. This is not what I wanted to be dealing with today. Had some wind, and this is the result. Now, this tree is not the best quality tree. I've actually received some negative comments in the past because of the existence of this tree on our homestead. But, you know, it is what it is. We didn't plant it. It was here when we moved in, and we used it to the best of our ability, and you know, it had a purpose. This Bradford pear tree, while Bradford pear is considered a total weed here in the United States, it is not a desirable tree. It is strictly ornamental, but it was here, and it was the shade tree that we had for our bunny barn, our rabbit hutches, and well, this is the result. This is a pretty common sight with Bradford pear trees. Because of their structure, they are pretty nice, tall, upright, but they are also dangerous, and this is why. It doesn't take much to make them go bye-bye. So we've lost about a half of this tree, and today we're going to be cutting it up and probably getting rid of the rest of it, because the half that fell was the half that actually provided some good to our property here. It was actually what provided the shade for our rabbits. So it's got to go. We're sad to see it go because of the shade, but also because of the leaves and stuff. We actually were using a lot of these leaves as treats and branches as treats for the rabbits, because, you know, pear trees are on the okay list to feed to rabbits. So, but don't worry, this is not going to be wasted. We've got some plans for this. We'll be cutting up some of the smaller branches into chunks to make dibblers, because while it is kind of a weed tree, the wood is actually very pretty. So we're gonna, you know, cut up some of these sections of branches for dibblers. We'll be cutting up other sections of the branches for smoking, because the Bradford pear, while I said it's a weed tree, it actually is a wonderful tree for smoking wood. And as you guys know from watching some of our videos in the past, we love to smoke wood, and pear is perfect to go with chicken, fish, and of course, rabbit. So we're not gonna let it go to waste. And then the larger sections we're gonna be cutting into firewood chunks, and it'll get stacked over to dry for the rest of the year. Then we'll split it in the fall, let it dry through the winter. We'll use it next spring, some of it for maple syrup boiling, and the following winter, the winter of 2023, we'll be using it for firewood in the house, if it makes it that long. Well, that's enough chit chat. Let's get to it. Let me show you the tools I'm working with today, and pretty excited to get to have an excuse to get the four-wheeler out and move some wood with my awesome Ohio steel poly wagon. Let's get to it. Okay, so before we actually get to it and start actually doing the work, I just want to show you guys how blessed we are in this situation, because while it is unfortunate to lose the tree, let me just show you where God works in mysterious ways. This is how close the tree is to the hutches here. I can't even get my finger really barely in between the hutch and the tree branch here. And then as far as the top of the bunny barn here, this branch actually broke off before it could put enough pressure onto the bunny barn and cause any permanent or long-lasting damage. So while it sucks to lose a tree, we are just very thankful. We thank God, literally thank God, that it did not cause any damage to the hutches or the bunny barn, because that stuff's difficult to fix, and we are very thankful we did not lose any rabbits in this situation. All right, so the tool I'm going to be working with today is actually going to be a Portland electric chainsaw. I got this from Harbor Freight, and it's only a 14-inch bar, but it's more than enough for this tree, and it is more than enough for cleaning this up. And the reason why I like to choose the electric chainsaw, especially when working around livestock, is I don't want to freak them out with the gas chainsaw. And also the gas chainsaw is just a little bit of overkill for this. I don't need a 20-inch bar to cut through a 12-inch tree. So that's the reason why I'm using electric chainsaw. Also vibration, all that stuff, you know, it works. No sense using gas and scaring the rabbits, working this close to their hutches, and dealing with all of the extra weight and vibration that's not necessary to get this job done. Well, we've made some good progress. Got about 2/3 of what fell cut up, and decent amount of wood over here to process down further for smoking and wood stove and bonfires or whatever we decide to use it for this year. Gonna take a little bit of break, readjust the camera angle, and get right back at it. Well, we got it done. Got it cleaned up most of the way. There's a couple hiccups here and there with the chainsaw. I kept having issues with it binding. I have a chain slip every once in a while. Totally my fault, user error, not the chainsaw's fault. Tell you what, for $40, that is probably one of the best investments I've ever made as far as a usability and function here on the Homestead. Okay, one of. I say that a lot, so I really can't say, but for 40 bucks, I can't beat it, right? All right, so these are our piles of brush we got now. We got this one over here, this one over here. We're gonna finish cleaning up all of the small branches and leaves here. The sheep will get some of those branches, the rabbits will get some of those branches, but the rest is gonna end up on the burn pile. And then this is our stack of wood here. That is the result of all of our labors. Still need to cut it down into usable pieces. Gonna get some of it set aside for dibblers, smoking, and firewood. We don't let anything go to waste, as much as possible anyway, as much as possible. And there we go. That's where we're at now. But look at all that sunshine on the bunny barn. That's honestly my biggest loss right there, is the shade itself. But since this tree is gone, we've already been talking, and we've got a maple tree we think we're gonna put in there, but it's gonna take some time for it to grow big enough to have some shade. Well, that about wraps it up for today. Thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on all the other crazy things that go on here on the Homestead. And until next time, God bless.